Okay, so I'm going to show you how I solder easily and quickly. This is my hard solder from Auto Fry. I like the chip solder, and all I do is pre-ball it up and put it into these little solder containers, and I mark it with a Sharpie marker for hard, and that's what I'm going to use on this piece. I've got 4 little balls of solder here ready to go, and I always get a couple extra. And the first thing I'm going to do is take my Swiss torch and light it with the #1 Hoke head, and I just want a nice neutral flame. There we go. So I want to see just a little bit of the flicker on the end of that. I've got my Prips Flux in my bottle, my spray bottle that's on Tanya Recommends, and I'm just going to go ahead and heat that up and get the Prips Flux on there. Once I get the Prips Flux warmed up and sprayed on, I'm going to go ahead and heat it a little bit additionally to get the flux to go clear and sticky. And then I'm just going to pick it up. I'm going to let the solder do the work with gravity helping me. So I'm going to set that down onto a solder ball right where that join is. And then the tip that I wanted to share with you is this is a Pepe Tools Easy Ergonomic Titanium pick. And how you pick solder easily is you heat up your pick first. You get it nice and warm, and then you touch the solder. And when you've touched the solder, it will stick to the end of your pick. Then you simply come over and heat up your piece just enough to get it sticky, and then you drop down your solder where you want it. So now I've got a piece at the top and a piece at the bottom. So now I'm going to take my torch and I'm going to just circle around, and I'm going to heat up the back of the metal first, because when your metal comes to temperature, your solder will flow. And then I come to the front and I just kind of circle around. Now if I had focused the heat on the join, the solder will probably jump to wherever the heat is most and not up that tight join that I showed you earlier. So now you can see that gravity worked and the solder went right up the join. Now what I'm going to do is flip it over and make sure I pull the solder through to the other side, to the inside. So that's just heating it up and then pulling that through to that side, making sure that looks good. And then I'm just going to pick it up and give it a once over on this side to make sure that join is really nice and soldered. So now that means that I will have 0 cleanup to do, because here, let me get it on camera for you. You can see there's no solder at all. Solder kind of disappeared. And then let me show you the inside since it's still hot. I'm gonna figure out how to pick it up so I can show it to you. And then there's the inside of that. Now I'm going to need to sand the top and the bottom of this bezel to make sure it's an equal height on both sides. So when I do that, it will remove any excess that's on the top of the wall. But this is just flux that you're seeing there. And so I will pickle this after I'm done doing all my soldering, and that will be removed. Okay, so the key is to heating up your pick before you try to touch the solder. And once that's heated up and sticky, it will pick up the solder. And then when you go to place it on your piece, you want to have the piece warmed up so that it is sticky and it accepts the piece of solder off of your pick. By then your pick is cool, and because you don't have it in the flame, and it's not going to be as hot as the flux on the piece, and it will take the solder right off of your pick and put it exactly where you want it. So it's a really fun and easy, fast way to solder pieces is with the pick method, and just pre-balling your pieces. You don't need to worry about keeping them clean or cleaning them ahead of time or doing anything like that. Just preheat them maybe once a week, put them in here, and then use them whenever you need them. So I have them for hard, medium, and easy, which I typically do not use the easy, and I don't use any extra easy. So that's it.